The sun was already bright over Lagos that Tuesday morning, casting a golden glow over the city's rooftops and busy streets. The city hummed with energy, ready for another day. Street sweepers moved along the roads, commuters hurried to catch buses, and children in uniforms waited at corners, their laughter echoing. My father hummed a King Sunny Aid tune as we drove to the bank on Allen Avenue. It was a routine errand. He needed to make a deposit, and I tagged along, hoping to ask for money for a new video game. Inside the bank, the city's chaos faded. The cool air, soft voices, and tapping keyboards felt peaceful. My father joined the queue. Everything felt safe, ordinary. I had no idea that in moments, none of this would matter. The glass doors burst open with a violent crash echoing through the marble-floored lobby. In a heartbeat, calm shattered. Chaos and fear took over. 5 masked men stormed in, guns raised, eyes wild. Their movements were sharp, as if rehearsed 100 times. "Everybody down!" one barked, his voice slicing through the panic. Screams erupted. People dove for cover, shoes scraping tile, breaths quick and frantic. My father yanked me down, shielding me with his arms. The leader fired into the ceiling. Plaster rained down, the gunshot making everyone flinch. Silence fell, thick with terror. Every second stretched. 2 robbers leapt over the counter, stuffing cash into bags as alarms blared faintly. The rest swept their guns across the room, keeping us frozen. I pressed my face to the cold floor, my father's hand steady on my head. Sobs, whispered prayers, and harsh shouts filled the air. We were all prisoners, hoping not to be noticed. My father grabbed my arm and dragged me quickly under a desk near the wall, his grip tight and urgent. The cold metal pressed against my back as we squeezed into the cramped space, trying to make ourselves as small as possible. We huddled in the suffocating darkness, our bodies pressed close together, listening to the chaos erupting all around us, boots thudding heavily on the tiled floor, bags scraping against furniture, the chilling sound of guns being cocked and voices shouting orders. I risked a glance from beneath the desk. A pair of muddy boots belonging to a robber stopped just inches from where we hid. So close I could see the scuffed leather and the trembling of my own hands. I held my breath, heart pounding in my chest, silently praying he'd move on. Relief washed over me in a wave as the boots finally turned and walked away, the threat receding for just a moment. My father leaned in close, his voice barely a whisper. "Don't move, it'll be over soon." I could hear the fear in his words, see it in his eyes, it matched my own. The robbers grew louder, their voices rising in panic and anger. "Move faster!" they shouted. The tellers sobbed as they emptied the vaults, their hands shaking. The sharp, acrid scent of gunpowder and sweat hung thick in the air, making it hard to breathe. I buried my face in my father's shirt, wishing desperately for it all to disappear, for the nightmare to end. But every sound, the shouts, the footsteps, the crying, reminded me that this was terrifyingly real. We clung to each other, hands gripping tightly, our bodies tense and trembling, waiting for the storm of violence and fear to finally pass us by, hoping we'd make it out together. Suddenly the shouting stopped, leaving a heavy, uneasy silence in the air. "Nobody move for 5 minutes!" a robber yelled, firing a final shot as they fled the scene in a rush. Silence settled, broken only by ragged breaths, quiet sobs, and the trembling of those left behind. Slowly, people began to move, glancing around in disbelief and fear. My father and I crawled out, the bank a mess of shattered glass and scattered papers everywhere. Police sirens wailed in the distance, growing louder with every second. Officers arrived, asking questions we could barely answer through our shock. My father's hands shook as he spoke to them, voice barely steady. Outside, life continued as if nothing had happened at all. That day taught me fear, and the illusion of safety we often take for granted. But it also showed me the strength of family, huddled together in the dark, holding on to hope. The memory of that morning will never leave me, etched forever in my mind.